You're listening to the Intuitive Souls podcast. I am your host, Erica Russo, and this podcast is designed to educate, inspire, and enlighten. Let's wake up together. Hello and welcome to the Intuitive Souls membership. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I am glad the universe led you here. My name is Erica Russo and I am a psychic medium and spiritual mentor. And on today's show, I am going to talk about some of the character traits or personality traits, whatever you want to call it, of a highly sensitive person. Now, I talk about empaths or highly sensitive people a lot due to the fact that I am one. And one of the reasons why I started this podcast was because I wanted to put enough value and enough knowledge out there for other highly sensitive people to gain the tools and the resources to kind of combat being overly sensitive in such a crazy world. You know, when I was growing up, being a super sensitive kid, I really struggled with it. Like, I really struggled being so sensitive and not knowing that there are simple ways that you can really kind of combat, you know, the exhaustion of energy, so to speak, or to really protect your energy field. So today I'm going to talk about some of the traits that can kind of show you that you might be a highly sensitive person as well. Now, I want to give you guys a little bit of a backstory before we go diving into this. You know, for me growing up, a lot of the things that I struggled with were, you know, big crowds and being around certain people and just kind of, I got overwhelmed really easily as far as like being around too many people, right? So like I couldn't do like 2 parties, like back-to-back parties in 2 days. Like I would just feel absolutely energetically exhausted after, you know, being around a lot of people, where I would kind of need like a timeout and just be by myself for a couple of days afterwards. And, you know, I would get really I would feel like a tightness in my chest, or I guess it felt like anxiety when I was with certain people. And oh man, it was tough. It was really, really tough because I learned pretty quickly that a lot of people didn't have good intentions and weren't very kind, and you know, they just weren't that great at people. And you know, I got so overwhelmed around a lot of people. Like, I didn't go to my high school prom. I didn't go to my graduation because I just remember, like, just the thought of being around so many people. And you know, with my graduating class, I just felt so energetically drained just thinking about it that I just didn't want to participate. So, you know, it really wasn't until, like, my late 20s when I started reading again, and I started kind of trying to take more time for myself, you know, because I was a mom of 2 young kids. So, you know, we all know what that is like. And, you know, it wasn't until I started doing stuff for myself that I kind of realized that I wasn't the only one that was ultra sensitive. I wasn't the only one that had these kinds of personality traits. And I really see such a difference in just having this kind of knowledge, right? Having the knowledge of the difference between being highly sensitive and just being a regular person who doesn't have those highly sensitive tendencies where energy just kind of exhausts you. So let's just dive in and let's talk about some of the traits of a highly sensitive individual. So the first thing I want to talk about is you might be a very effective listener or communicator. You're able to listen with a lot of mindfulness and attune into the people that you're having a conversation with. You can really feel very empathetic about what they're going through, the feelings that they're feeling. You might really get overloaded in such empathy overload is what I like to call that. You'll feel the pain that they're going through if they're going through a heartbreak or a loss or whatever the case may be. This is something that is very common in highly sensitive individuals, especially, kind of being the person that people go to for advice or people go to just to listen to them. You might attract people that are, in need of healing or in need of guidance, and you might attract a lot of these kind of people. That's because your energy, the energy that you're giving out into the world, is a pretty healing energy. It's a pretty open energy. So when someone who is in need of some support feels that kind of energy, they're really drawn to it. And that's one of the that's like a definite trait of a highly sensitive person, is just being an effective listener and a communicator, and attracting people that are in need of healing. So another trait of a highly sensitive person, and I'm going to go back and forth from saying highly sensitive person to empath. Again, they're both the same thing. I'm just going to interchange them here and there. So another trait of a highly sensitive person is being overwhelmed in public places. So shopping malls, supermarkets, stadiums, concerts, where massive people gather, can be extremely overwhelming and can also lead to like anxiety or panic attacks due to the myriad of, emotions that you're sensing. And until this is contained and manageable, it's really hard to steer, if this is your energy or somebody else's. I just remember feeling when I think I went to my first concert, and my first concert was John Mayer and Maroon 5 at Jones Beach in Montauk, New York. And I just remember feeling, because I had to basically walk the whole stadium to the other side of the stadium from the entrance. I remember feeling like almost like a panic. Like I had very shallow breath, and I remember my chest felt tight, and I just remember like I could hear all of the sounds around me. I could hear, the beer bottles popping. I could hear people getting drunk. I could hear the water in the background. And I remember I had to like go to the bathroom and just like take a couple of deep breaths before even the show started, because the energy was so intense for me. Now, another trait that empaths can struggle with are mood swings or getting unpredictable or needy. So we can experience, extreme highs and extreme lows, and this makes them unpredictable at times, I want to say. 1 minute we can be extremely happy, and the next minute you can be very sad or withdrawn and not wanting to be around anybody, and you might even feel depressed. And they can also, this can also kind of look like bipolar disorder, I do have to say, because of the mood swings, because it's so sporadic and erratic and up and down. But this is because there's so much energy out in this world, and if we catch a glimpse of some sort of funky energy and it comes into our auric field, we're going to have a reaction to it, whether it be a mood swing or, an unpredictable shift in our emotions or whatever the case may be. So, if these mood swings are coming out of absolutely nowhere, like you're not fighting with anybody, there's nothing to be pissed off about, there's nothing triggering these kind of negative changes in your behavior, that might be due to the fact that your energy is, one, unprotected, 2, not grounded, and 3, you're picking up energy. I don't want to call it stagnant energy because it's not stagnant energy, but funky energy. I'm just going to call it funky energy. So, mood swings, and unpredictableness can also be a trait of a highly sensitive individual. Now, another trait I want to talk about is being sensitive to TV, radio, movies, or any sort of chaos or hurt in just everyday life. So, violence, cruelty, shocking scenes of physical or emotional pain or abuse can bring an empath to tears. And I mean like to tears. I have seen some of the most sensitive people really struggle with just watching the 5 p.m. news, myself included. And, they might feel physically ill or bewildered and struggle to comprehend such acts of hurt or pain or evil. And, one sure way of dealing with this is to just turn off the TV or radio or disassociate yourself with social media or, just the news if it's negative or if it's bringing any sort of negativity into your life. I don't watch the news because of this, and there are a lot of things on social media that I can't see as well because I get really super emotional and it affects my whole day. And with all the grounding and protecting in the world, if I see something that's heartbreaking and heart-wrenching and mind-boggling, I'm going to react. My nervous system, my emotional state of being is going to react to this negative news. And, with that being said, you are just going to be so super sensitive to any sort of negative energy, wherever you get it, if it's from the news, the radio, movies, or just life in general. Everything's going to affect you more. And that's one thing we have to remember as highly sensitive individuals. Because you are highly sensitive, it doesn't matter what the news is, it's going to affect you more, and you're going to have a deeper, it's going to have a much deeper penetration to you, I guess, so to speak. So just be cognizant and be mindful of what you're allowing in your field of energy, what you are allowing in your life, whether it be negative news, positive news, whatever the case may be, because it does affect you more than an average person, a person who is not highly sensitive. So there's just so many, kind of traits that empaths hold. Another one, this is a good one too, is constant fatigue. Now, if you are always feeling tired, if you feel drained after, a long day, or if you're just feeling drawn to help others, but in doing so, you're just kind of tired or exhausted by it, whether it be, emotionally, mentally, physically, or spiritually exhausted. This is due to basically your energetic stream being sucked dry. And you might just you may want to do like daily cat naps or retreats, or you might be tired for absolutely no reason. Like, you drank enough water, or, you got good sleep, but you're still tired. That's most likely due to your energetic pool, I'll call it, being drained from others around you. So it really is super important to learn how to protect your energy. And it really is something as simple as envisioning, a bubble of white light surrounding your aura. There's other techniques that you can use. I have a course called The Enlightened Empath. It is only $9.99, and you should definitely check it out if you are like nodding your head to all of these characteristics, because it gives you so much information. I mean, I like so much information. It teaches you how to not only protect your energy, but to clear your energy, clear your space. It teaches you how to balance your energy and how to understand if it's actual anxiety that you're feeling or if it's actually energetic overwhelm. And you're going to learn about transmarginal inhibition, and you're going to learn about yourself. So it's definitely worth checking out. Again, just head on over to my website. That is Erica Russo, ERICA, Russo, RUSSO.co. And head on over to the course page and just take a look, because you're going to get a lot of information within that $10 course. So another trait of an empath is curiosity and a seeking, a wanting of the truth. So you're driven, most empaths might be driven by curiosity to understand just life and spirit and why we're here, and have an intense desire to seek the truth and question everything until they feel a resonance to any answer. So if something doesn't sit well with them, if an answer that was given to them doesn't sit well with them, their curiosity and their intuition is going to really kind of not make them feel a little crazy. Because because they feel that different energy, right? If someone's just telling them exactly what they want to hear, first off, highly sensitive people are excellent at reading people. You're excellent at reading energy. You're excellent at, distinguishing good and bad energy. So what I mean by curiosity is you're always willing to listen to others, but you just need to know the truth, because your monkey mind is going to question your intuition. Because if someone's lying to your face and you feel it inside because you read the energy, you're going to go crazy, because your monkey mind is going to be at war with your intuition. And this happens a lot. So if you are someone who just needs to know the truth, just because your monkey mind is not allowing you anything other than the truth, that is a really good indication that you are a highly sensitive person. Now, I'm just trying to think of others. You might actually have a desire to be near water, or you might have just like a deep love and connection to water. And what I mean by that is, like, that's any sort of water. That's the ocean, that's the lake, that's the pond. You just feel such a calm reaction to water. And it allows you to really kind of feel the healing energies and the healing properties of water and reconnect to like a womb of safety, and you feel safe. And it's really, like, for me, any kind of water has always been really calming to me. And it wasn't until like I actually understood why I was so drawn to water that I now know, like, I need to be near water. And I don't know why this is. I don't know why, but every empath that I talk to has that desire or that need to be near water, just because it is so calming to us. Now, another trait of a highly sensitive individual is the need for solitude. You know, I'm not saying that you're not very sociable, because we can be, but we might have desires to just be alone. We might have like a burning desire to just want to be alone on a weekend and read a book, or just go on a hike by ourselves. We are so okay with being alone. We're really at our best and able to recharge our batteries when we're alone, because any sort of energy is going to affect us. So the only time that we are really allowed to get like our battery up to 100% in an efficient way is spending time alone. Because even the smallest thing, a phone call from an individual or texting or social media, all of that affects our energy. And it isn't until we allow ourselves to be still and to be by ourselves that we, like I said, we recharge our battery. We're able to just kind of take everything that is not ours and throw it away and just be with our own energy, be with our own soul. Another trait of a highly sensitive individual is, and this one is like hardcore for me, is, boredom, distraction, daydreaming. This is, you might have a need to be stimulated or focused on a project. And this was really true for me in school, because if I was interested in something that I was learning, I was an A student. Like I was such a nerd. I would read chapters before it was even like needed to read chapters if I was intrigued by the subject. If I wasn't intrigued by the subject, I couldn't even sit there and read. I was just so overly distracted. I allowed my daydreams to like take the best of me. And this, a lot of the times people may think that this is ADD or ADHD, and it very well could be, but, this is something because our energy is so high, right? When our energy is just kind of like a sponge, it's really hard for us to stay focused. It is so hard for us to stay focused on one thing. But I do notice that when we have a love of something, we can really focus in on it. Now, let's see. A lot of empaths, I would say all empaths, are humanitarians or peacemakers or mediators. Sorry, guys. And, conflict is extremely unsettling for us because we feel it. We don't like it. We hate it because we feel it so much more intensely than an average person. So we may steer away from, conflict. We may not like yelling. We may not like speaking our truth, and this can affect our whole life because we are just so enveloped in energy. And, a lot of empaths, they have a love and respect of all people and cultures, and they just want everyone to get along because they don't want to feel that nasty, hating energy. Another trait of an empath or a highly sensitive individual is sensitivity to antiques or, anything secondhand or vintage. Holding on, like this one's pretty cool because I remember I went into this place called Fanny Doolittle's in Paterson, New York, and this thing is like a treasure trove. When I tell you, like, some of the coolest antiques you'll ever find, I went in there once, and I just remember walking in and my stomach turning. And there wasn't, like, the woman working there was super sweet, and it wasn't her energy, but it was all the energy of all the collective metals that sat in. It was a beautiful store, but when I'm telling you from floor to ceiling, there was, consignment items, metal objects and stuff like that. It was really daunting walking around. And I'm not saying that it's bad energy, but it was a lot of energy because metal holds energy very well. And when you are at an antique store or something along those lines, all of those things are holding energy. Whether it be good, bad, and different, it's all holding energy. So you might get energetically overwhelmed when you are around a lot of antiques or vintage or secondhand things. Another thing that empaths are visionaries. They're problem solvers. They're entrepreneurs by nature. They just have we have this intense vision blended with, an adventurous love of life or an enthusiasm to dabble in as many ventures or business opportunities. They have an instinctive knowing that they are capable of achieving a lot more than what society wants us to achieve. They're just very driven. They're very analytical. They're very humanitarians. You just always have dreams. You just always have goals. You always think bigger than what you should. You always dream bigger than what you should. And that is really a strong trait of a highly sensitive individual. Now, again, there are so many other traits out there that highly sensitive people hold. These are some of the strongest ones, I would say. So if you're nodding your head yes while listening to this and you're like, oh my God, I think I'm an empath, chances are you are one. Chances are you are one. And please, there's so much information out there about empaths and about how to protect yourself and all of that. So please, do your research, because it really, when this heightened sensitivity, when you are not aware of it and when you don't know how to control it, it can just drain you. It can really drain you. But when you have the tools to protect yourself and to, distinguish energies and to almost turn a curse into a gift, that's when you can take this sensitivity to the next level and make it your own superpower. So again, please, if you are interested, go head on over to my website and check out the Enlightened Empath course. It is, or the Empowered Empath course. I'm not sure what I called it, but it's there. It's on my website. It's $9.99. It's cheaper than a book, and go head on over, check it out. You're going to get a lot of value, a lot of hints and all of that good stuff in there. And again, if that's not your thing, totally cool. All you got to do is Google empath and you're going to get so much information that way as well. Guys, it's been a pleasure, and I will see you next time. Into your superpower.
Want a place for spiritual and personal growth? The Intuitive Souls monthly membership is now open for enrollment. With monthly trainings, virtual spiritual development circles, coaching calls, and access to the private Facebook group, this monthly membership gives you everything you need to help you grow your intuition and step into a higher level version of yourself. Now is the time to take your quirks and turn them into your superpowers. This monthly membership gives you a safe place where you can practice your intuitive and mediumship skills with like-minded, soul-driven sisters. Enrollment is only open for a limited time, so be sure to head on over to ericarusso.co to sign up today. I can't wait to see you there.